Welcome to the Nanny, where we partner with parents in raising godly children and children with good morals. So, this is going to be my last episode under this season, where we've been basically talking about the nanny and the role that she plays in raising children. So, the next season will be different, and I hope to do it differently as well. So, last episode was a part one of handling complaints from the nanny in relation to your children. And we say that a nanny can report to you in two ways. So we handle the first two, that is spontaneously. Maybe something comes up at home and you're questioning, why haven't asking your kids, why haven't you done homework? And maybe it's an open door for the nanny to jump in and say, well, they spend time at the neighbors all the time and blah, blah, blah. And because the child doesn't want to hurt you or displease you, he'll go on and say, no, we don't do it. And then the nanny is saying, hey, they always do this, and things like that. But we say that the most important thing is to make sure there's peace at that time and then investigate. So today I'm going to talk about the second way of how the nanny can report to you or can bring a complaint to you in relation to your children. And this is the more mature way of doing things. She comes and speaks to you and behind closed doors. The kids don't have to be there. She can come to you and say, well, when I went to school, your children's friends were saying this and this about your child. Maybe they hung out with boys a lot and they were caught, making out, something like that. Or I was washing your daughter's bag and I found a lot of money, which seemed to be very suspicious, something like that, but behind closed doors. So, like we said in the previous episode, normally as a parent, because of the bond that you have with your child, that natural bond, you tend to support your child over what the nanny is saying. But I also mentioned that, by the way, kids can also lie. You know, one thing about children is they know their parents so well. They know your strengths, they know your weaknesses, they know how you respond to education, to dressing, to food, to parties. They know how you respond. They know what makes you happy. They know what displeases you. They know how you displease them. They know what you can take lightly, what you can't take lightly. The kids know all of that. They're sharp. So let me give you a story. I remember I was in this home and I was nannying these kids, and I had told the parents, okay, well, for me, I have come to teach the children to be independent, to learn how to work, and to be responsible, you know. So as time went by, I began to get lots of funny attitudes from these children. At times, they're ignoring me. At times, they give me the attitude of, by the way, do not tell us what to do, or we know what to do, or we don't want to do it, or they are being very slow at doing what they're supposed to do, all sorts of funny attitudes. And I would give them space, because they were quite old, if I may say. So one day, I was spending time with the youngest child, and we were having a happy moment. So she dropped the bomb, and she said, "By the way, we know how to do housework." Then I asked her, "If you know how to do housework, then why do you let your mom bring a maid? Maids, house helps, nannies? Why?" And the kid said, because we don't want to do work. We just pretend that we do not know how to do work. We want them to do the work for us so that we can do whatever we want. Now, for me, when she said that, I connected all the dots and I began to realize that, by the way, she's speaking the truth. Because there were days when I would find they've done the work by themselves without me telling them. Then there are times when they gave me that funny attitude of, do not tell us what to do, or we'll do whatever we want when we want to do it. But at the end of the day, they would do it. You understand? And then there were times when they would not do what they're supposed to do, and they would land me into trouble. and yet they knew what they were supposed to do. At the end of the day, I was the one who was being blasted, being blamed, that the kids are not doing this and the other. Yet they knew, but they didn't want to do it, you know. They wanted to have someone to keep doing for them their housework. Anyway, in that home, I didn't last long. I didn't see my use of being there. The kids knew what to do, you see. So one thing about children is that, by the way, they can play around with your strengths, with your weaknesses. They study you and know you properly. They know what pleases you, and they do not want to be punished. They do not want to displease you. So when the nanny brings a complaint to you in the closed doors, what you do, thank her and tell her, okay, I'm going to look into it. You know, now she feels she's been heard. Then go ahead, like you did, like I spoke about in the previous episodes, investigate. Does it require you to call a teacher at school, or to go to school yourself and find out the truth? Does it require you to speak to a neighbor, or to check in your daughter's or your son's wardrobe or bag or whatever? Go ahead and investigate without the child even knowing what you are up to. Then, when you have found out the truth, discipline your child. Sit with them and talk to them and let them know this is not right or this is right. If it so happens that the child is not is the nanny actually didn't say something right, then talk to the nanny. Tell her, well, maybe you misheard or you misunderstood, or I'm the one who gave them this money, or this, or maybe someone sent it to them. Explain to her as well, such that she doesn't feel ignored or taken for granted, that what she's saying is not important. Yes. But when you ignore what she's telling you, she will also be demotivated to come next time and say, well, this and this is happening to your child, and it may be important that time. So please listen to her. Yeah. So the other thing I really wanted to talk about that I noticed is that there are some parents, when the nanny when the nanny brings a complaint to you, you know, this because you are, let me say, an absentee parent. Maybe you come late in the night when the kids have gone to bed, or maybe you see the kids only over the weekend, or maybe you see them after months and months, something like that. So, those kinds of parents, what I realize is that when the nanny brings a complaint to the parent ignores the nanny because they feel guilty in their hearts for being absentee parents. So when they are present with their children, all they want to do is to spoil their children. So they ignore the discipline, that they're supposed to give to their children. But the thing is that at the end of the day, it's the parent who is going to face the consequences, because the nanny one day has to leave. And you, the parent, you stay with your child and you face the consequences of having an indisciplined child. Do you understand? So, yes, it is good to lavish your children with things, gorillas and hugs and kisses and clothes and everything, which is a good thing. But also tackle the disciplined part. Sit with them and say, by the way, guys, now this is not right. TV time stops here. Playing with the neighbors too late, no. So you need to discipline your child. Whether you've been away for long or you're with them every single day, they need to be disciplined. One thing I notice about children, they respect the parent or the child support staff that disciplines them. And discipline is basically correcting a child, whether it is talking to them or maybe using the stick, whichever means. But they respect the child support staff or the parent who disciplines them. In that, when issues come up, you find them running to that child support staff or that parent, because they know this one is truthful, is honest, does what is right. The child can also tell when you're just spoiling them. They can tell, and they will not give you that respect, that is due to you, the parent. They will love the spoiling, they'll even fight and throw tantrums for it. But when it comes to issues of discipline, of truth and honesty, they will go to the support staff or the parent that is truthful with them. That is children. And if you know you're a step parent, you know, it is very important, not only the step, even the bio parent, be truthful with your children. Do not make this child hate the other parent. Don't tell lies to them about the other parent. Because when the children grow, they get to know that they remember what you told them, and now that they have grown mentally and emotionally, they will get to know, the other parent was telling me lies. And then they will tend to love the parent that was telling them the truth. Whether it is the bio parent or the step parent, they will love and cling to that parent. So from the word go, be honest and truthful to your children. So this is where I'm going to stop today. I've been talking about handling complaints from the nanny about your children. It can be spontaneous reporting or maybe reporting behind closed doors, but the most important thing is to investigate. Don't believe your children 100%, and even the nanny as well. You need to investigate, you need to discern, you need to know the character of your children and of the nanny as well, to know the truth so that you can apply discipline where needed. So people are asking me if I have nannies, if I train nannies. Well, it is something I have in the pipeline to train nannies. When I am ready, I will put out an announcement. Otherwise, thank you so much for listening to my videos. Thank you for the support you've been giving me. And I'm requesting that do not only listen uh, for yourselves, but also share with others. Let them get to know this information because it is very vital in raising our children. So thank you so much. Have a nice day. Bye bye.